Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Brett Favre paid $600,000 to Mississippi after state auditor says he received illegal funds, and he still owes $228,000. The state has said. Former NFL quarterback and one of the best to ever play the game, and Brett Favre paid the state of Mississippi $600,000 that he allegedly received illegally from welfare funds intended to serve families in need. According to the state's auditor, he could still face a civil legal battle if he doesn't pay the remaining money the state says he owes. The Mississippi office of the state auditor determined that Favre and one of his employees owed the state a total of $828,000 that were illegally dispersed to them from the state's welfare budget through at least one nonprofit he worked with. According to Auditor Shad White, after paying $600,000 this week, Favre must pay the remaining $228,000 in interest within 30 days to avoid a legal issue. Auditor's office spokesperson Logan Reeves told CNN, aka the Crying Negro Network. Favre is among some of those who didn't fulfill the terms of their contract when he worked with the nonprofit, according to the auditor's office. But the Mississippi native said he had no knowledge that the money he received was misappropriated. I have never received monies for obligations I didn't meet, Favre said in a tweet in May 2020. To reiterate Auditor White's statement, I was unaware that the money being dispersed was paid for out of funds not intended for that purpose. And because of that, I am refunding the full amount back to Mississippi. CNN has reached out to Favre's agent Buzz Cook for comment. Favre played in the NFL from 91 to 2010. Mostly with the Green Bay Packers, or I like to call them the Fudge Packers. Shout out to JP. He was elected to the NFL Hall of Fame in 2016. Audit revealed millions were misused. The misappropriated funding was revealed when the Mississippi Office of the State Auditor examined how the State Department of Human Services used its funding. 2 years ago, my office audited DHS, White said in a news release dated October 12th. After 2 years of work, we found tens of millions of dollars in misspending. Those findings have now been confirmed this month by an independent forensic audit commissioned by DHS. It's time for the taxpayers to attempt to recover what we lost. The audit found that more than $77 million were improperly used from the state's welfare program, temporary assistance for needy families through 2 community-based nonprofits. The audit was conducted by an accounting firm in Maryland, or they like to call it Merlin. According to the auditor's office, 2 nonprofits, the Mississippi Community Education Center, which is the MCEC, and the Family Resource Center, which is the FRC, either misspent or improperly dispersed portions of that $77 million. Meaning the money was ultimately misspent by a vendor to the nonprofit. The auditor office said CNN has reached out to the nonprofits for comment. The former head of DHS, John Davis, must pay more than $96 million for allegedly approving the illegal spending. The auditor's office said the agency is also requesting that former DHS deputy director, Jacob Black, pay $1,824 for first-class air travel that wasn't authorized. Now, this is my thing. Brett Favre, I love him as a player. He's in my top 5, top 6 greatest quarterbacks ever. The guy was amazing, but as far as him after his career, Brett Favre's a scumbag. Like, he's a real scumbag. Like, some of the comments he makes is very... And, you know, I don't want to make it a race thing because all of us have our flaws. We have black people that are great, and then we got the black people that are bad, same as Asians, same as whites, same as Latinos or Latinas. It's the same thing. But he really looks at things from a superiority complex and from a, I'm not concerned of how others are treated. I'm just seeing how me being white, how things are for me, but I look past that, but they should do the same thing instead of seeing the other side of the coin. So that's a lot of times what Brett has done. And I think Brett doesn't mean any harm, like, from him, but at times it's like, he doesn't learn from how he says. I think he just speaks from the heart, and he doesn't really have the sensitivity, or not sensitivity, but the empathy to relate to another person who's going through something. Like, you know, he doesn't see it as why this person may be poor. It may not just because they're poor because of themselves. It may because of their situation. Things could have happened. They could be disabled, or they could have grew up with the bad hand. You know, so we don't know, but he doesn't see it that way. But for you to take funds from families that are in need, I just can't respect that. To me, that's very hurtful, you know, and those families, you don't know what they could have done with that money that you were out here blowing. And now you're looking like the rest of, this is basically a thing you could see and say, man, you're looking just like the rest of these elite people. You just take, and don't give back. You know, so, but to me, my thing is, why isn't this talked about more? Why isn't it blasted on mainstream? Like, I got the YouTube up. I don't see this being said on Undisputed. I don't see this being said on First Take. I don't see this said on a lot of these networks, because to me it's an agenda. It's a double standard. Now let's say if this was Warren Moon, famous black quarterback who played for the Houston Oilers. Let's say it was him. How much coverage you think this would have got? A lot. I think it would have got a lot of coverage. Now, if I'm wrong, I'll apologize later and say, you know what, I was wrong for what I said. But I just want to know what you guys think. Do you feel this would get the same energy if it was Warren Moon as opposed to Brett Favre? Or hell, if it was Michael Vick, do you think this would have got the same energy as Favre's story is getting if it was Michael Vick? You guys let me know. So thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming notifications. And if you do love what you hear, you can donate to the page by Cash Apping me at the word welcome, the number 2, and then HDIITV. Thank y'all all for listening and your support. We're out. Deezy.